140-year anniversary. Welcome back to Escapement and Watch. Falling Titan here. Seiko is turning 140 years old. Amazing. To celebrate, we have a new King Seiko. In 1975, we saw the last King Seiko ever, about 46 years ago. Actually, that's not true. In the year 2000, Seiko made a heritage limited edition. I believe it was of the first gen King Seiko. So it's been 20 years since the world has seen the King. The King is back. Today, we're checking him out. The King Seiko. Now this is a beautiful watch and it's gonna sell out instantly. It is limited, of course, unfortunately. I believe this movement should be Seiko's mid-tier from 2000 to 3000, definitely in there. And that's what we are seeing. Remember, people pay 3,000 to 4,000 for Breitling IWC and Chuda two-door with base ETA 2824. Bottom of the barrel. Known defect with the dual reverser gears. So you're getting a bottom of the barrel watch, but it's Swiss made, and you're paying 3 to 4K because it's a Chuda. That is a joke. That I find hilarious. Anyways, let's check out this beautiful new King. Here we go. Thanks to Kavar Jewelers for lending this into the channel. This one was a tough one to get. And if you're interested in this timepiece, email me in the description below. Let's check out the unboxing experience. Here is that beautiful redwood box. Very nice. And it feels like a vintage package. Maybe this is how the packaging was when it was originally created. There she is. All right, very simple. Let me take it out, get rid of the box, and we'll get into it. Introducing the King Seiko KSK, also known as the SJE083, a faithful recreation of the 44KS from 1965. This watch is beyond special and beyond important. In 1959, a designer by the name of Taro was hired by Seiko to help design their future. Seiko going all in, trying to compete with the Swiss. What did Taro do? He went into the jewelry stores. He went into the watch stores. He noticed that the Swiss watches shone more brightly. They sparkled in the display cases, while the Seikos looked pale and dull in comparison. Boring designs. So he created a new design language that Seiko faithfully follows till this very day. And that design language is called the grammar of design. Flat, broad surfaces, mirror, finish, no distortion, unique designs, and 2D bezels. It was a simple design philosophy with a powerful impact. It changed the company as we know it. And when Seiko split up their factories into two separate entities, the first one was Suwa, the second one, Daini. Daini is my favorite. Suwa made Grand Seiko in 1960, the first Grand Seiko. And then Daini followed suit with King Seiko a couple years later. Now this one is not the first King Seiko. This is the second King Seiko ever made. And this internal rivalry between Seiko's two factories created some innovation. It ignited Seiko into its golden era, the 60s and 70s, where the company truly became Seiko. Now, Daini and Suwa started to work together a couple years after the rivalry began. Once the innovation started, they became teammates, and Daini started producing Grand Seiko as well, and Suwa started producing King Seiko as well. So once the innovation started, they became friends. You can think about it like that. Daini made the 44, 45, 52 KS. Those are the famous ones. Suwa made the 56 KS, and that's a really nice one. In 1975, the King Seiko name was no more. But in the year 2000, Seiko made a heritage piece, and that one was limited to, I believe, about 2,000 units, SCVN001, and had the legendary 4S movement based on the legendary 5200 movement from Daini that was in the 52 KS. So the lineage was all there on that 2000 model, and that one is tough to find. There's 0 on Chrono24 and 1 on eBay right now. I believe it's about 2,000 something Canadian dollars. So these watches, although limited, the numbers are much smaller, because if this gets into a true Seiko collector's collection, it never leaves. So right now, if I wasn't having a child, I would buy this and it would never leave my collection. So there wouldn't be 3,000 units available. There'll be 2,999 units available, because these things do not leave the collection. Try to find the year 2001 as proof. Okay, so it's 20 years old and there's one available basically. So these are rare. They're gonna be rare. The first 5 years, yes, there's going to be flippers and floppers, speculators, whatever. Eventually, it's going to dry out. They're going to finally land in a true Seiko collector's home, and that's where it's going to stay. And that's it. And most of you watching this video are never going to see this watch. Never going to see this watch. And that's a shame. It's a beautiful watch. It is absolutely stunning. It has a deep connection to Seiko's roots. It is more than just a watch. It is about when Seiko took on the Swiss. Now, in 1963, Seiko entered into the Swiss Observatory Chronometer Trials. All right? And I believe they did not place. In 1964, they came in Daini and Suwa, 144th place. 1965, they got 3 chronometers certified, 114th place. In 1966, the year after, Daini was 3rd place manufacturer overall, and their best watch, 9th place, or best movement, sorry. In 1967, the 5200 series, the legendary movement that I mentioned earlier, that later became the 4S, that became in the recreation heritage model in the year 2000, placed 4th. And in 1968, Suwa took 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th place with wristwatch mechanical movements. And 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place were a conglomerate team of Swiss companies making a prototype quartz movement. So Seiko won basically because it was actually a mechanical watch, and the Swiss had to team up to try to make something that could beat them, because in 1967 the 4th place finish was frightening, and then in 68 basically top place in all mechanical watches. And after Seiko won, the observatory chronometer contest was cancelled, of course, to save face. You can't have Seiko entering every year after that and just winning. It doesn't look good, so they have to keep it all Swiss brands, and then they make it only Swiss watch movements can enter now. Blah 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 blah. So it was a great story, and this watch connects us to that beautiful history of Seiko taking on the giant Swiss conglomerates and beating them. It's just an amazing, amazing, amazing history. So when I see King Seiko, although Daini and King Seiko lost to Grand Seiko, I love King Seiko. King Seiko, I wish Seiko would bring it back, but maybe we're gonna have to stick with only once every 20 years. Now quickly, the case shape, completely high polished, signed crown with a little W there, standing for water resistance, 50 meters of water resistance, and we have those beautiful Grammar of Design lugs. Look at those facets. It's unbelievable. Look at that. It looks like it tapers, and then boom, you see the thickness of them. What an awesome, beautiful design. This is so classy, so elegant. It's purity. I love it. Now the movement is the beautiful, brand new, all in-house 6L35. Don't confuse it with the 6R35. Guys, the 6R, the 4R, and the 7S are all based on the Daini 7000 series movements. Back in the day, those are the foundations of the entry-level Seiko watches, the Daini movement. Now that Daini movement focused on economy, stamped parts, and high production numbers. Okay? This one is a new high quality movement at a higher beat, and Seiko made the 4L, what this is from, what it was created from, to try to sell movements to Swiss third-party manufacturers like Zinn and Damasco and all the other ones that use Swiss ETAs. They wanted to take the money away from ETA. So they made a movement, same diameter and same dial feet position. Okay? And that's it. It's completely their own. Seiko makes movements. We all know it. They're the kings. They make movements like this. The world's first ever constant force tourbillon. So when Seiko makes a movement, we pay attention. Now this one does have the Dia shock protection. Amazing. Guys, I dropped my Willard from 1 meter on tile and it was fine. Dia shock is unbelievable. Now, let's check out those measurements. 38.1 in diameter. The original was 37. So it's a faithful recreation, just a little bit different in size. Now the thickness, 11.4 millimeters, so ultra thin, and the original was 10.9. Okay, so a little bit different there. And the lug to lug, 44.7 is what I got, and the original was about 43. The original had 19 mil lugs, this one 20. Oh, it doesn't say. This is a genuine crocodile strap. Beautiful. I love that vintage shine. It just feels so phenomenal. Now there's that amazing gold medallion on King Seiko's trademark. Beautiful. And the limited edition number. So 3,000 of these, and you have that beautiful horseshoe that you get on the vintage Seikos. Or all the recreations, they get the old school case back. There's mine. I still have the sticker on. I'm being like those Rolex fans who keep their green sticker on. I don't know why I haven't taken it off yet. Anyways, I digress. Now the original was manual wind and had a no date. This one has a date. I wish it was a no date, but nowadays Seiko insisting on putting dates on everything. And the big negative for me is I wish there was a Daini logo at the bottom or a Daini logo at the back. I'm in love with the Daini Sua story. I'm in love with King Seiko, and good lord, this watch is a stunning beast. It's just unbelievable. Now the dial and hands, a beautiful gray silver tone to that sunburst dial, applied logo, applied diamond cut indices, and the 12 o'clock has a lot like a crosshatch texture on it. Beautiful. All right, and the rest are just faceted mirror finish. And look at those hands, diamond cut, beautiful Grand Seiko style hands. Daini used to use these hands a lot in the 60s. So on the King Seikos, amazing. The dial is simple and classy and beautiful. And I just love it. It's just so phenomenal. Now the price, 3,300 USD. So it is a little high, but definitely worth it for Seiko collectors. Seiko remaking a vintage watch for you. You don't have to go in the past and find one with issues. You don't have to struggle. You just get a modern version remake. That is the dream. And Seiko does it every so often. They make a remake, and the remakes are their best watches. It just is. They're so amazing. They're a piece of history, and you get them in modern times. And I'm so thankful for that. The 3,000 people that get these are so lucky. Maybe you can get a little bit of a discount, 5, 10%. I don't know. I doubt it. But you never know. You never know. Once this gets into the Seiko collectors collections, the real ones, you're not going to see it. You're never going to see it. You're never going to get one. So don't worry about it. If you think it's overpriced, move on. Okay, let's compare it with the 62 mass. Why not? Look at that. What a beautiful two-piece collection, or two-watch collection. We have the 39.9mm 62 mass remake, and we have the 38.1mm King Seiko remake. Oh man, I should just sell all my other watches and just get this. The wife won't be mad. And just stick with these two, right? Oh god, no, I'd miss my other watches too much. I love my Blue Willard so much, but it is tempting seeing these two together. It is so tempting. I don't know, maybe I'll sleep on it. Now let's check it out with the new Alpinist. Some of you might have an Alpinist. There we go. Look at that. The Alpinist is 39.5mm and the King Seiko 38mm. And the King Seiko looks bigger. That's unbelievable. I'm trying to line them up perfectly. There. Yeah. It's because of that compass inner rotating bezel, it shrinks the watch visually. So, oops, there we go. All right, review on this soon. Really like this brown dial. Here it is on my 6.5 inch wrist. What a beauty. Oh man, it wears amazing. It feels so light and comfortable. The strap definitely needs to break in a little bit. I've never had a genuine crocodile before. So I don't know how long these take to break in, but yeah, beautiful. I can't believe how well it wears. 38mm. I think I'm gonna buy a Seiko 5 in Mod 1, just cause try to make a nice dress watch. Just cause I can't have this one. Oh guys, and by the way, I forgot to mention the beautiful buckle. Look at that. Completely milled and Zaratsu polished, super high quality. This tang is actually really thick. It's very nicely done. 66 grams. Wow. Beautiful all-day wear comfort. Let's begin. There you can hear that high or medium beat 28.8 VPH, amazing amplitude at 300 and 0.2 milliseconds in beat error. All right, so we have 8 seconds a day, now 6 seconds a day, and that strong amplitude. I'm just gonna mute it. When it's a high beat or medium beat, it beats way too fast, and I think it's distracting for you guys. But there we go. So yeah, 6 seconds a day, barely making it into COSC certification. But I believe Seiko regulates these to 12 down. So when you're doing anything in life, 90% of the time your watch is 12 down. So let's do it 12 down. Let's check out this movement. Reset. Okay. Now the amplitude did dip from 300 to 280, but it is not bad, but the beat error went to 0. Just like I suspected. Seiko regulating these to basically what you're going to be wearing it the most as. On the wrist, I'm going to guess this is going to do +2. Just guessing. Of course, it needs to break in, it needs to settle. And definitely, wow, it's such a good movement. Yeah, so, Okay, so now we have 0 seconds, 0 seconds, 0.0 beat error, no snowflakes, 272 amplitude, very strong. Wow. 0, 0, 0, 0. So +6 dial up and 0, 12 down, the most used or most common position. So definitely going to be around +3 seconds, I would say, on most people's wrists. Of course, it depends on your activity. If you're on the keyboard all day, that's dial up. So if you have like a desk job, but even when you're driving, it's 12 down. Like, just try to pay attention to it. You'll realize that 12 down is like where your watch is at all the time. Maybe we should just do all the tests at 12 down. What do you guys think? Let me know. 0 seconds a day, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, beat error. Good job, Seiko. Definitely in love with the story of Daini and King Seiko, and of course Sua, taking on the Swiss, beating them at their own observatory chronometer contest, and forcing them to cancel, and then a couple of years later, Seiko making the world's first quartz movement, taking the Swiss industry down to its knees. So they kept uppercutting and uppercutting, and it was such an amazing time. 1965. 1965. What an amazing year. Don't you wish you were back in 1965? You can buy an original 62 mass, an original 44KS. Woohoo! Oh man, anyone alive now from back then, you guys were lucky. I'm jealous. I can have these watches back now in the future, thankfully to Seiko, but I'm paying a huge premium, and I don't know. I'm just in awe of this watch. It is a simple watch. If you're used to divers and fancy brushing and polished transitions like the Marine Masters, you know, this watch might not wow you. It might just look boring to you. But, you know, this is a classic dress watch. It wears phenomenal. And I know there's not that many dress watch fans, but it's nice to have one in the collection, 100%. Which dress watch do you guys have in your collection? Let me know down in the comments section. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.